Craving your next action-packed adventure? Audible delivers thrills of every kind on your command, like Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, where a lone astronaut must save humanity from extinction, narrated with stunning intensity by Ray Porter. From electrifying suspense and daring quest to spine-tingling horror and romance in far-off realms, unleash your adventurous side with gripping titles that'll keep you guessing. Discover exclusive Audible originals, hotly anticipated new releases, and must-listen bestsellers that hook you from the first minute. Because Audible knows there's no greater thrill than the one that speaks to you. Discover what lies beyond the edge of your seat. Start your free 30-day trial at audible.com/WonderyUS. That's audible.com/WonderyUS.
Welcome to How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine, the show that teaches you how to survive the things that can kill you.
Like stepping on a downed power line or underdosing at a rave.
Yes.
How about a roller coaster going rogue?
Oh. And the things that just make you wish you were dead.
Like pickleball pressures or a bird crapping on your head.
Oh, I hate that.
How about a thong wedgie?
Oh. Haven't worn a thong in so long. I wouldn't know.
It's always a wedgie.
It is always a wedgie.
You know, it's also always wonderful.
Our theme song?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Ground is shaking under our feet. Mountains on fire, flooding in the street. Can't breathe the air, can't fight the feeling. Gobbling down Xanax ain't the way to be dealing. Gotta do better than just getting high. We gotta stick together if we're gonna survive. How to survive. How to survive.
Hello.
Hey.
Wait, Chris is looking at her phone.
I wasn't. I was not.
You picked it up.
You're right, I did. Do you guys have things that just was a great segue for me because I was driving here and I listen to smart people podcasts sometimes. I try to learn. And a lot I don't understand. But
Our listeners don't know what you're talking about.
No, they don't. I assume besides this podcast, they in Never Not Funny, they listen to not to put rain down on Never Not Funny, but they might listen to smart people podcast too.
Maybe.
And I'll be like, I don't know a lot about what they're talking about, but I'll absorb something.
Sure.
And
we never talk about stuff we don't know about.
No.
Okay, I want that on the table.
We would never do that.
We are fully
Never.
advised. I mean, Never Not Funny. You guys know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So does Never Not Funny. We're smart. We talk. We know what we're talking about.
You know,
politics, we know it.
I haven't listened in a while, so maybe I need to catch up.
Chicago, Oreos. They're on their like 7th straight week of Oreo testing. Jimmy came home with golden Oreos last night.
Okay.
With like a few missing.
Yeah.
Fucking Oliver and Jimmy like ate the entire in like one night.
What are golden Oreo? Are they like vanilla flavor?
Yeah, the outside is
the white.
White
okay.
also. So I had 2.
Okay.
Because I couldn't eat more than 2.
I don't like Oreos, so
They were so good.
Yeah.
The golden ones are good.
Okay.
I digress.
Yes. No, this is probably more
You were
interesting.
listening to a Smart People
Yes.
podcast and...
Well, I realize there are these expressions that come up in my life that I don't understand.
Okay.
And I'm going to pitch some to you because, for one, I want you to think about if there are ones that you don't understand that you've just never bothered to figure out.
Okay.
One of them is Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah.
If I'm saying that right. So they were like, it's like, it's a Schrodinger's cat problem. And I'm nodding my head. Yes, Schrodinger's cat. But I have no idea what they're talking about and never have. And here's another one. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, do you want me to address that?
I will, but I want to throw the next one at you.
Okay.
And then this is a big one.
Okay.
I think it's Rube Goldberg.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a Rube Goldberg box or something. It's like the Rube Goldberg issue. And this happens in conversation all the time. But
You've never thought to look it up?
Well, because I'll forget. It'll be like somewhere socially, let's say. I'm at a cool party. Mm-hmm. I never go to cool parties. And somebody will say like, oh, this is a Rube Goldberg situation. And I always think it's Ruth Goldberg. This is a Ruth Goldberg situation.
That is totally different situation.
And
That's when you send your suit back. It is not salty enough. Yeah.
This is not good. It does not. It only has one matzo ball in it.
Yeah.
Soup.
Anyway, these are 2 instances. I'm sure I have many more, but
Okay.
please tell me.
So Schrodinger's cat, correct me if I'm wrong, Garen, it is a scientific experiment, or the premise is something like, is the cat there whether, like if you kill the cat, is the cat still in the box? Is that what it is? It's something to do with, is something there? It's a philosophical sort of thing.
Like if a tree falls in the forest, does it still
I don't
make
know.
a sound?
But it's an actual thing, I think. He'll let us know. Rube Goldberg machine is, you've seen them a million times. It's like, have you ever seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Yes.
Okay, you know in the beginning where he makes breakfast and it's like one thing hits another thing and then the egg falls down and it cracks and then that's a Rube Goldberg machine.
Oh, yeah. My son's has Gravitrax and he's literally just making Rube Goldberg machines over and over again.
And there's like amazing ones online and you'll see people do like these incredible, you know, things that go all through their backyard somehow, you know, it spins a plate and then it like, you know, it hits the dog's bell or something, you know, just crazy. So that's all that is. Okay. I don't know. I have looked him up. I don't remember specifically if he just did it for entertainment, if there was a reason he did it. Rube Goldberg, because he's a person.
Okay, Schrodinger's cat is a thought experiment concerning quantum superposition. In the thought experiment, a hypothetical cat in a closed box may be considered to be simultaneously both alive and dead while it is unobserved, as a result of its fate being linked to a random subatomic event that may or may not occur.
I mean, how
it's
do you...
It's a paradox, basically.
I don't really understand what you just said. And I also don't understand how in conversation... Like, again, I'm listening to a smart person podcast where they were talking about, like, Trump and authoritarianism and if he blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. But it was Ezra Klein. And if it's three smart people and they're like, well, it's like the problem of Schrodinger's cat. So... I still probably wouldn't have understood it, even if I understood the Schrodinger's cat, which I don't.
I think Garen just nailed it. He said it's a paradox.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just a smart person way of saying it's a paradox.
Okay.
I mean, I guess you could expand it to being like, nothing is outside that door because we are not observing it.
Okay.
Nothing exists outside that door.
Right. It's
okay.
I don't really understand it.
Yeah.
Either. You know what Pavlov's dog is, right?
I do know that.
Okay.
Yes. But that's a very different experience because it's saying you train them to salivate because you've given them treat, you know.
Do you think Pavlov's dog and Schrodinger's cat would be friends or do you think they'd be enemies?
Well, it depends. Is the dog Francis? Then yes, they'd be friends.
But what if the cat's dead and simultaneously alive?
Then I think still friends because she'd want to lick it.
Okay. So I just want to briefly tell you about prom.
Oh my God, yes.
So it was, Oliver had a great time.
Yay.
All the parents went over to, well, I kind of missed out because of Oliver's allergies. He went to his friends later than everyone else because they have a dog.
Okay.
When I got in, all of the parents were there, like eating and drinking. And I'm like, motherfucker, I missed out on this because of your stupid allergies. Anyway, it was fine. And we all took pictures on the lawn. I mean, I didn't take pictures of us, but took pictures of all the kids.
Yeah.
But that was only half the group, not even half. They ended up with, because then they went to another friend's house. And from there, they took more pictures. And then from there, they got into a limo SUV.
Like a party bus kind of thing?
Yes, that held 18 kids or something. And they went to prom. And so we didn't see him until 5:30 the next evening.
Okay.
Because he slept over at the friends in a room that supposedly didn't have the dog. And then they all hung out and they had a great time, which was awesome. But,
I love that.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so happy.
So, and he looked very dapper. And,
I bet.
And
he's made for like
he looked
dressing
so
up.
cute.
Yeah.
And all the girls had their own style and they weren't like, because I see a lot of prom pictures on Facebook and I mean, all the kids look great, but there was like a certain style of dress that's in right now. And none of the girls had that. They all had just like their own thing.
Yeah.
Which was neat.
Yes.
So, so Jimmy and I are home, like doing a marathon of Jeopardy.
Nice. On brand.
This is our life now.
Yes.
And anyway, I went to bed. Jimmy comes in and he goes, Oliver just texted me and said, can I have a drink? I think it's okay because I'm around my friends.
Aww.
And it'll be okay.
Oh.
So I was like, yeah, just tell him, yeah, of course. Jimmy was a little bit worried about it.
Okay.
Because, I don't know. He was just, because he doesn't drink.
Yes.
So he was just a little bit worried about it. But he's like, okay. He goes, okay, you can have one.
Yeah.
And then Oliver wrote back, but if you don't,
It's a 40.
it's a keg. He's doing a keg stand.
He's upside down.
Just one drink, Dad, I promise.
So then he writes back, but if you don't want me to, I won't. Because he's such a little nerd. So Jimmy just wrote back, just have one.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we find out the next day. Because, we didn't know what happened. So there was an after party. And I knew there was going to be an after party. And I kept saying, well, whose house is the after party at? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, how can you not know? But, teenagers,
yes.
I don't know if you get this. I know they're not teenagers yet, but I don't know if you get this where it's like they don't know any answers to the questions you ask.
Yes.
And you're like, how do you not know this? Like,
Yes,
we
yes,
say
yes.
that all the time to him. Like, how do you not know?
Yes. Mostly with my son.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's a boy. It's probably a boy thing.
It might be, yeah.
So he just kept going, yeah, I don't know. And I was like, okay, whatever. So we find out the next day, the party was not at someone's house. It was at a warehouse.
Okay.
God knows where.
Yeah.
And there was, if you wanted it, he said it was like a rave.
Okay.
So it was music he liked, but it was all like, glow sticks. And he was like, it was not his scene. So he was outside. There were a lot of people outside too. Mm-hmm. So this place was, if you were 21 and over, you could have alcohol. And if not, you had to bring your own alcohol. And I'm like, what is the insurance on this place? That's all I kept asking. I go, I don't understand.
Did you check about the insurance on the place?
But I don't understand. Like, why would anyone put themselves in that situation? It just seems so, like, you're going to get sued. The suit out of you. Anyway, so we asked, so what did you drink?
Yeah.
And he goes, well, this was at this, I guess,
the rave
thing outside. And there were other high schools there.
Okay.
It wasn't, because there were more than one high school that had proms this weekend. So, and I guess people over 21?
Yes.
I don't know. I still don't understand.
Do you
what
know
this
who
place...
I think plans this?
Who?
I think this on like NPR or a podcast. It's these like really popular teens who are the party planners.
Okay.
And they're in high school and they do all of this. They like get big on social media with other teens and they make bank like planning these parties.
But they didn't pay for the party.
But they'll get money from all the teens.
Right, but they didn't.
And they'll like rent out these spaces.
Probably normally,
But from the 21-year-olds, maybe they get money or something. I don't know. Anyway.
I never even asked him if he had to pay anything.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but maybe he did. I don't know.
God, I wish I could find that and send it to you. Anyway.
Well, I did ask him. I said, so who planned this party? And he's like, I don't know. I goes, well, how did you know about it? And he said it was on Instagram.
Yeah, it all spreads through social media.
Yeah. So anyway, so we said, what did you have? And he said, I had a half a shot.
Okay. A half a shot. How do you do that?
And we're like, what?
He sipped it.
And he goes, well, we go, well, what was the shot of? And he goes, well, it was vodka with lemonade. I go, so you had a quarter of a shot.
Yeah.
You didn't even have a half a
They
shot.
probably all did a cheer and he like,
I guess.
and he went,
I don't know.
Woo, and like did a little bit and was like, no, thank you.
So, yeah. So he goes, but I didn't feel anything. I go, because you didn't have anything.
Yeah.
That said, he didn't fucking eat all day.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He
Nerves,
didn't know.
maybe.
He didn't know there was going to be food at the prom, which I'm sure they told them.
Yeah, don't they serve like a dinner?
Yes.
He just didn't eat it?
So he didn't eat it. I don't know.
He was just nervous.
I just don't understand what goes through his head sometimes. But anyway, so I think he thinks like alcohol doesn't affect him. And I'm like, no. It's not
it's
like
not that.
It's not like pot. Alcohol affects everybody.
Yes.
You just didn't have any alcohol.
Yes. You absolutely didn't really drink any.
You were like a kid at a dinner who had a sip of their mom's wine. Like you didn't have jack shit.
Right. Are you ready to get into today's topic?
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. We are going to talk about how to survive coaster catastrophes.
Oh my God. Roller coasters?
You got it.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be scary and thrilling.
It's going to, I don't know why I just did that.
She just did Bowser.
I just did Bowser from Sha-Na-Na. And I'm wearing a striped shirt. I feel like, oh no, he wore like a black tank top, right?
A muscle tee.
Okay, well, whatever. So, since we are heading into everyone's favorite time of year, We all like to stand in the blazing sun for hours, right?
Yes.
Way too close to people you'd never be friends with. So you can fling yourself thousands of feet into the air. And the steel contraption held together with millions of tiny bolts and screws. Nobody really wants to do any of this, I think. We're doing it for our kids. And people go into debt to do it.
Well, speaking of, sorry, just to interrupt for a second.
Interrupt me.
Speaking of aging and how that affects your body, apparently your inner ear thing does change.
Yes.
And people who liked roller coasters in their youth, I was never one of them,
Yes.
often don't like them as they get older because the sensation is different. Have you experienced that?
I have with certain rides that I did like as a kid, and now I'm like, oh, I can't do this. It makes me feel really sick. So, and some I still like. Like, I am a person who enjoys roller coasters. I get a little more worried now just because of neck issues and back issues, where it's like, what's this gonna do to me? You get a little older, you get a little more scared.
Yeah, the jostling.
Yeah, it's like, what's this gonna do? You're gonna strap yourself into iron gauzy and go, is this safe?
Iron gauzy?
That's a roller coaster. Iron gauzy.
Oh, I thought it was like a Rube Goldberg machine. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Now I don't know what you're talking
was
about.
a wrestler.
Just kidding. I know now. Okay. So first thing I wanted to know is it safe? Okay. So obviously I went straight to the experts on analyzing the latest data, People magazine.
Okay.
Now the only issue I had while I was reading this article was how many times I was interrupted by Colin Jost and Scarlett Johansson's relationship timeline.
I was too yesterday. It kept popping up. I'm like, I don't care.
Right? It's like, just give me the stats on roller coasters.
No, I wasn't even on People. I don't know what I was on, and it just kept popping up.
It's everywhere.
It's like, I get it. They're in love. Jesus.
Yes, they're great. They're both funny and cool, and they have
pretty
good teeth.
And yeah.
Okay, so this article came out last summer after some headline-making theme park incidents such as Portland Oaks Amusement Park, where riders got stuck hanging upside down for more than 20 minutes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
What a reaction. She does not like this. Another.
Well, think about it.
No, I can't even imagine.
The blood's going to your head.
Yes.
You're nauseated.
Yeah.
You're terrified.
Upside down. And those arm... What are those called?
Restraints.
That go over your shoulders,
Shoulder harness.
You're just being held like that, and it's all your weight's on it. And you're like, what if this doesn't hold?
Right.
Then I die. Another at Six Flags over Texas, where guests were stranded on the park's Roaring Rapids ride. And a third in which a girl was reportedly thrown headfirst from a carnival ride in Indiana. Okay, so People magazine talked to a guy named Jacob Wall. He is the president and CEO of IIAPA, which is known as the Global Association for the Attractions Industry. And he says fixed site rides. So these are the theme parks like Cedar Point and
Disneyland,
Knott's Berry Farm, Disneyland.
Magic
Yes, they're especially safe because of the sophisticated engineering, multiple inspections, strict operating procedures, and extensive maintenance that they receive on a daily basis.
Okay. That's good
So,
to know.
Here's some promising data, guys. In North America, there has been a consistent decline in the rate of injuries per million rides at per million attendees over the past 20 years. This is from Wall, okay? He says that only 8% of injuries were classified as serious in 2023, which is down 19%. So he says accidents are more likely to happen because of guest behavior on family and adult rides rather than a malfunction, okay?
They're drinking too much tea.
Well, it was a contributing factor in... Sorry, that took me a minute to hit me. It's a contributing factor in 75% of injuries over the past year.
Oh.
Now, just anecdotally, when I read a lot of different articles about injuries, this is what it is. When he says guest behavior,
Yeah.
it's these people who go after they get off a ride and they're like, oh, my hat. I lost my hat. And they go in and try to get it themselves. They're like, climb over a fence.
Seriously?
Yeah, or their phone falls out of their pocket on a ride, and then they're like, think they're going to climb in and get it themselves. They can see it. They're like, there, I can see it. And then they try to climb over something and get it, and then they get hit by the ride.
Oh my God.
Idiots. Or people just ignoring safety guidelines. They stand up when they're not supposed to. They're taking out their phone to record. They're trying to exit the ride before it comes to complete stop. People, Americans, you're not going to tell me what to do.
They tell you in English and Spanish what to do. At least at Disneyland they do.
I think these people in Spanish are listening. It's the English dummies.
They tell you, keep your hands inside the ride. Hold on to your hats and sunglasses.
Yes, but you know how
don't stand up.
You know who don't like to follow the rules?
Americans?
Correct.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, I wanted to dive a little deeper into the numbers, guys. You know I like numbers.
Yeah.
You know I like to do my research. Because that guy, that Jacob Wall,
Yeah.
he works for the industry.
Okay.
That's like asking the Sackler family to give me the data on opioids.
Right.
And I'm not going to trust that.
Okay.
Okay, so let's look at a year in particular, 2019. That's the last year in which data is available from the Public Safety Commission, okay? So there were 1,299 injuries from amusement park accidents in the U.S., okay?
Does that include carnivals? Or is that like the big part?
That's
like
just,
Disney
I think
stuff?
those are just the big parks.
Wait, 1,000?
1,299 injuries from amusement park
one year?
accidents. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to talk about carnivals. Don't you worry.
I believe it.
It's
Yeah,
going to be
really.
different. How many people die every year on coasters? Okay, that's probably what you want to know.
Yeah.
I did. I wanted to know. So the National Institute of Health looked at the years between May 1994, May 2004, and found on average 4 people die every year.
Okay, that's more than I thought, honestly.
Yeah. So I'm going to break it down. 11 fatalities resulted from external causes related to injuries from falls or collisions.
Okay.
18 people died from medical conditions that might have been caused or exacerbated by riding a roller coaster.
That makes sense.
Right? So they were like, oh, they had a bad heart, or oh, they had something with their brain. 15 were the result of intracranial hemorrhages or cardiac problems. No, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
Okay. 11 deaths involved employees.
Employees?
Yes. All were caused by injuries.
Okay. Wow, I never thought of that. The employees are
Yeah.
getting...
Yeah.
Huh.
So, Garen, to your point, what about the people who are like, I don't go to those big fancy, Dollywoods.
Are there rides at Dollywood? There must be, right?
Yeah. I think it's a amusement park, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Cedar Points, the Disneylands. I like my Blue Tip Match Festival. That's what it's called where I live.
Okay.
The rickety, the better for me.
Exactly.
You like to go to the Rickety Carnival, right? Is that what it's called?
It's
Yeah.
It's the shakiest.
How about, are those rides safe?
Yeah.
That's what you probably want to know.
Right.
Okay, so unlike the big theme parks these have a lower price tag, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're not subject to federal inspections,
What?
right? Which may be still happening. How do we know?
Okay, sure.
Right?
Who knows?
Who's in charge of that now? Probably a former cast member of the Real World or
Yeah.
Jenny McCarthy. She might be in charge of it.
Yeah.
So only 7% of these traveling carnies report their accident data.
Oh.
So that means 93% do not. Okay.
I wonder if Big Carnival is telling them not to report it.
Well, when you think about it, so I was thinking about that. I was like, well, it seems like if you have straight A's, you want to tell people, right?
Yeah.
You're not keeping it a secret.
Right.
So I'm feeling like the 7% are the braggers. So that means the 93% maybe don't have such good numbers.
No, but you're saying 7% of employees who get injured report it. Is that what
Oh,
you're saying?
no, this is the traveling carnivals, right? Reporting their accident data, right? So
okay.
as a whole, 7%. And 93% are not
Okay. Oh, they're just not reporting it.
reporting at all.
I see. I misunderstood. Sorry.
Not exactly. Okay. With the tiny amount of data that's available, it looks like accidents are going up by 12% a year.
Okay.
So there's a theory that I saw on this law firm website, because there's not a lot of information I can even get, and a lot of it comes from law firms,
Okay.
which is kind of like,
Yeah.
I tried to, suss out if that data was accurate. But their theory, which kind of made sense, that the reason why this is getting more dangerous every year is because of the wear and tear on the rides.
Yeah.
There's constant disassembly and reassembly of these rides to different weather places where it's like heat and cold and shrinking and expanding, different climates. These people doing the work at each, they're often hiring out at different places.
They're meth heads.
They're meth heads. They're underworked or overworked and underpaid. Maybe COVID might not have made that better. You think? Probably not. Here's something interesting. The most dangerous rides aren't what you think.
Okay, so not roller coaster. Maybe like that thing where you spin and that gravity thing where you're sucked to the wall.
That thing terrified me when I was a kid.
The Gravitron.
Yeah. I did that once.
Yeah, it's
I was
terrible.
like, so this is my personal nightmare.
Yeah.
Just being nauseated for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
What is the point of this?
Why am I the only one sliding down and everyone else is staying against the wall? That's how I always felt. A study in the journal Clinical Pediatrics found that the tamer amusement park rides are sometimes some of the most dangerous for children. So they used ER records and they found that roller coasters cause 10% of all injuries to children at amusement parks. Bumper cars caused 4%.
Okay.
Guess what caused the most?
I don't know.
Carousels.
What?
20.9% of injuries.
They fall off?
Yep. Which explains why 1/3 of kids injured were 5 or younger. Falling is the most common accident. Head and neck, most commonly injured body region.
So I know at least at Disneyland that they have a seatbelt. Maybe at some places they don't have a seatbelt or the parents don't put the seatbelt on.
They're not using them. You know, it's a lot of
Dumb parents.
It's a lot of just like, my kids are under 5, I should go to a theme park also, which is maybe you don't need to yet. Maybe wait till your kids are bigger.
Yeah.
There are
Don't take babies to the fucking theme park.
all the newborns. I'm always astounded by the newborns.
God, I just feel so bad for them. It's so hot.
Or like a water park when I'm like, they shouldn't even be outside yet. I know you
right.
have kids that are older,
Right.
but like, this is not working.
Yeah.
It's actually dangerous. I judge you. Which states have regulations on traveling carnivals? You probably want to know because you live in a state.
I do.
State of paranoia.
It's a state of abject terror. New Jersey and California have super stringent safety regulations.
Okay.
So if you're in one of those states, congratulations.
Yay! Oh, well, New Jersey has to because
Like
of that.
Action Park, right?
Because of Action Park.
Yeah.
Mississippi, Alabama, Nevada, South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, and Utah have no laws at all that
Okay.
require inspections.
That all tracks.
So there's a lot of other crossovers with those. Okay. How do you survive? I mean, that's what this show is.
Yeah.
As we've said. Here's some tips from a website called kidsindanger.org.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That could be so many different things.
I know, right? In 2017, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission estimated there were 29,400 hospital emergency department visits, both children and adults, for amusement park attractions, including rides, both mobile and fixed site parks. 2017, 29,400.
Jeez Louise.
That's like bigger than most small towns.
Yeah.
All right, so here's a website. If you have an incident on an amusement ride, saferproducts.gov.
Oh.
That's where you report it, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. I'm going to give you some tips.
Okay.
Read all the signs, right?
Yeah, dumb shit.
If they don't hit the height, weight, age, and health, don't do it.
Right.
Don't be like, they're almost tall enough.
Yeah.
Get on there, Cletus.
I'm only 7 months pregnant.
Yeah, don't do it. Obey the rules, okay? If they ask you to wear a belt, a bar, a strap, etc., if you come across a belt or a bar or a strap that isn't working properly, let the staff know. Know your child. If you don't think your child can follow the rules or the safety guidelines or will be too afraid, keep them off the ride.
Keep them at home.
Yeah. Or keep them home. Go to a park.
There you go.
That's free. Nature is a wonderful thing and it doesn't cost a penny. I said the person who's taken their kids to these, but they were older. Okay. I read that. Check for yourself. Look around. Use your own judgment. Does the ride feel safe? I don't know if I mean, to me, I'm always like, this is going to break.
You mean even at an amusement park? Or,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Like if you have any,
This is going to break. You just shout it out in the middle of the line.
we're all going to die.
Move up.
If it doesn't seem safe for some reason, point it out. Okay. Here's something interesting from MichiganMedicine.org. Many injuries and related hazards are preventable, but a survey found that parents varied in their views about reporting unsafe ride operator behavior. 94% said they would definitely report suspicions that an operator was drunk or on drugs.
Yeah.
69% would report failure to enforce safety rules, such as seatbelts or height restrictions. Fewer than half said they would report an operator using a cell phone.
Oh, okay.
Hey, see something, say something.
Yeah.
Be a Karen.
Right.
Sometimes it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, like that applies to all people, men and women. Don't wear loose clothing that can get caught on ride equipment.
Oh boy.
Right?
Sure. What if I go to Six Flags in a caftan? What do I do then? Knot it up.
Yeah, no, just take some rubber bands.
There you go.
What is Stevie Nicks supposed to do?
What is she supposed to do? That's not fair. That's prejudicial.
Really.
Yeah.
You know, I think under all of that, she's wearing some leggings and she's in a bejeweled bodysuit.
She might have some Skims on.
Yeah. She's doing the Skims.
So
she can whip all that off
Yeah.
and just fly freaky in her Skims.
Can you imagine wearing Skims to an amusement park? Like you got to pee, it's 1,000 degrees.
No.
And you've got on some fucking tummy controlled
No, thank you.
one piece.
I just usually go in a thong
Right.
bathing suit because I want to be as comfortable as possible.
Jesus Christ. With Mickey ears.
Yep. I like to lose some skin when I get up off of each plastic seat. Leave a little bit of myself behind.
So gross.
So gross. So gross.
Like you were saying about the concert.
Yes, yes. Oh,
It's so weird.
I know.
At the Beyonce concert, people
I
wearing
know.
assless chaps.
yes. How did that seat feel to sit on? Okay. So, don't go back for your hat.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Don't go back
or
for your
ask,
phone.
Or maybe ask an employee if they can get it for you.
Yes, yes. Just be like, I lost my hat. I lost my phone. And they'll be like, you can come back at 10:30. We get all of that stuff out. You can decide if you are.
They just take a giant rake.
Yeah, probably. It's like one of those claw machines.
Yeah.
But it's massive. It's a crane.
Right.
Be safe out there, guys.
Yes.
Are you ready for a story?
So ready.
At first, Liz Haig Reeve thought the driver of the roller coaster was messing around, trying to give the children a bit of a scare. It was her 15th birthday, 30 May 1972.
Oh.
Where is this? And she and her friend Alison Comerford were at the Fun Fair in Battersea Park in London. They had been on the Big Dipper once already, the wooden roller coaster that was the main attraction, opened more than 20 years before, and had loved it so much they asked if they could stay on and go around again.
Oh.
Sitting in a carriage near the back, they were hauled up a steep incline by a rope, the wooden struts clacking beneath.
By a rope.
Is there just a dude up
a
there?
pulley?
Like,
Pulley system?
They were expecting to tip over the brow and whoosh along the track. Instead, as they reached the top, Haig Reeve felt the train start to roll backwards.
Oh my God.
That's when she thought the driver was doing it as a joke. But other children on the ride were panicking. Later, they would find out the rope had snapped.
Oh my God.
It took seconds for the train to hurtle back down. But it felt a long time, she says, and I had this logical thought process that we were just going to swing up the hill behind us and back again and eventually come to a stop. By the time I thought all that, we'd crashed through the bottom of it.
What?
I was buried in debris. Oh. Allison was unharmed and pulled herself up out of the car and started to drag debris off Haig Reeve. There was a narrow wooden walkway along the side of the track, and when Allison stepped on it, it collapsed. Haig Reeve thinks she fell about 30 feet.
What?
She remembers she was in extreme pain. In the hospital, she would find out she had broken her left arm and dislocated her shoulder. But somehow I managed to climb down and get to Allison. She was worried that people would try to move her friend and thought that it was a bad idea. Then a couple of people who worked for the fairground got hold of me on each side and said, "We're taking you to first aid." They sort of frog marched me away from her. By now, she says, there was chaos, lots of screaming. Parents had been watching their children on the ride, so they were obviously panicking. After a few minutes, I could hear sirens. She managed to run back to Allison, who was still unconscious. By the time I got there, she'd been moved. She was on the grass, and I was worried that had caused her worse injury. She remembers looking back at the roller coaster and seeing two little girls in the car above, who I thought were both dead. And somebody tried to climb to them. She stayed with Allison until the ambulances came, and then they went together to a hospital. The friends had been in London to celebrate Haig Reeve's birthday, the first time they were allowed to spend a day in the city together without their parents. They'd traveled from Cookham, a village in Berkshire, and had spent the day shopping, then headed to Battersea Park. 5 children lost their lives because of the disaster, and many more were injured. At the hospital, Haig Reeve remembers ambulances turning up with children. I was triaged, and someone said, "She's got to be fixed, but it's not urgent." The following day, she had surgery on her arm and was home soon afterward. Allison remained in hospital, but seemed to be getting better. The village was rallying around her parents. A church service was packed with people who rarely went, praying for her recovery. She went to see Allison a couple of weeks after the disaster. When we got there, she'd taken a turn for the worse, and they said I couldn't see her. She died some days later.
What?
I know. For the next few months, there were a lot of practicalities to deal with. There was a court case to prepare for. A report had identified more than 50 faults on the ride. And 2 men were prosecuted and dealing with physical injuries. Her broken arm was treated, but not her mental health. I just got on with it, says Haig-Reeve, but she was struggling. I had a very good GP who would say, come for the last appointment of the day. And he would chat to me, not specifically about the accident. The only thing that they did in those days was they stuck you on Valium. So I took them for years without really thinking about it. Haig-Reeve felt so guilty that the day in London had been her birthday treat, that she had survived and her friend hadn't. Allison's parents were phenomenally kind, which made it harder in a way. I think I wanted someone to say, it was all your fault. She remembers the day she had the cast taken off her arm. She burst excitedly into the hairdresser's where her mother was, only to notice Allison's mom sitting next to her. She was so pleased for me, but I felt so terrible. I can still feel that feeling now as I talk about it. Does she feel sad not to have had a carefree teenage life? It wouldn't have felt right to go off and do all the things that other people do as teenagers, where you're allowed to ultimately be selfish for a few years before real life kicks in. I'm sad that I didn't have that, but I wouldn't have felt right doing that. I did become quite a serious person. What she regrets most is stopping things she had previously enjoyed, such as the drama club she was part of. Now 67, Haig-Reeve has struggled with anxiety ever since the disaster. She tried not to be an over-anxious mother, she says, aware of worrying her children. But even now that they are grown up, when she hears about a car accident on the local radio, she rings to check they weren't involved. The sense of survivor's guilt has been present since that day, which you can't do much about other than have therapy and have somebody tell you it's not your fault. It's just a set of circumstances. You hear that, and it hopefully improves how you're feeling, but it's never fully gone. It has given her the feeling that she can't waste time, which can be helpful, but also comes with pressure. I've always been someone who likes to have a full diary. Now I'm allowing myself a bit more time to enjoy a walk or something. But I suppose there's had to be a purpose to everything. She has met other survivors, and she says that was helpful. One, Mark, his story mirrored mine. He survived and his friend died. On the day of anniversary, she met more, including one of the 2 girls she remembers looking up at on the roller coaster.
Oh, wow.
Thinking they were dead. She survived, although her injuries were life-changing while her sister had died. Okay, I'm going to just skip a little bit.
Oh, now you're going to skip.
Well, I have skipped a lot, actually. The effects of that day have been lifelong, and the fact that the anniversary falls on her birthday has been an annual reminder of the years she has lived that Allison didn't.
Jesus.
I always think about Allison and about the randomness of how it's one person and not the other, and that's just horrible. I thought about it when I walked into the church in my wedding dress and saw my friends smiling, and when I had my first baby, that kind of thing. I don't take it for granted. It's really easy to take life for granted, but it's a bit of a nudge in the ribs every so often and says it's not like this for everyone. So that is the story of the most deadly roller coaster tragedy in history.
Oh, wow.
And she is one of the survivors. And the story has actually got a lot more details in it, but I had to cut it down because it was so long.
I have a question.
Yes.
A semantics question. I don't know if that's the right word in this case. It rolled back down, and then did it fall off the track?
So what happened was, it was going up,
Yeah.
clink, 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 and then it got to the top, and the rope that was pulling it up broke.
I still can't believe that that's how it worked.
And
There was a
then
rope.
when it went back down,
Yeah.
it slammed into a car waiting. You know how there's always another car waiting to go up full of people?
Yeah.
So those 2 cars crashed into each other
On the track.
on the track.
But then
I think it
they
crash
must
through?
have crashed
And
to
then
the ground.
I think it crashed
Yeah,
through.
it broke
Because-
to the bottom.
And then she said something about 30 feet down. So
So maybe it's, because usually they're built up on platforms. You know how you have to walk upstairs usually to get to a roller coaster? It's not like when you're at the bottom, you're on
so
the
you
ground.
fall 30 feet from the car.
Maybe then when they crashed into each other, it busted up a lot of the... There are pictures online, and the article even had a lot of pictures in it of the crash.
So her friend must have had internal injuries they didn't know about or something?
Probably.
Because they just thought she hurt her arm.
Yeah, probably. Well, she hurt her arm.
No, I know, but I thought you also said that... maybe I misunderstood. I thought you said that the other girl also hurt her arm, and I thought that's... Anyway, she went home. They thought she was going to be okay, and then she died.
The other girl never got to go home.
Oh.
She was always in the hospital.
Oh, okay. I didn't
She was worried
understand.
when they moved her. She was worried they hurt her more.
Yeah, I know.
Or cause more
that
problems,
you're
which
right.
maybe they
You're
did.
right. Okay. I mean, that's, hindsight, who knows, but
Yeah.
wow, that poor woman. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, just the guilt of having to live with that tragedy her whole life and how much it affected her life and just like how she parented and how
Right.
there's a whole sort of side story that I cut out about her leaving her marriage because she was like, life is short and, she didn't want to be unhappy. And I think it had a good effect in a way too, because it made her realize how
precious.
life is
Yeah.
and how it can just be randomly taken away from you at any moment.
Yeah.
So I think it was a double-edged sword in a way.
Wow.
It was a Schrodinger's cat for her.
It was a
lot
it
of
was a Rube Goldberg.
She was in a Rube Goldberg,
Yeah.
and then she lived like a Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah, and she behaved like Pavlov's dog. I think I would like to read that whole article.
Well,
So
you
if
have
you
access.
can send it to me, I would appreciate it.
I would be
because
more than happy
that sounds super interesting.
to. Sure.
Well, I guess we will be back after this with our guest.
I hope so.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to you.
This time you actually went somewhere on the break.
I did.
You went to go get coffee.
I left the studio.
Now, this is almost 11 o'clock. You can drink coffee now and be
Oh,
okay.
yeah. I can drink coffee until like 3 o'clock
That's impressive.
and probably still sleep.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
I could not do that.
I have a few gifts. I did some research in the coffee shop on dry. I will report back to you.
On what?
Dry eye.
Oh, I thought you said on dry, and I was thinking it was like a dating app, like Raya.
We're going to go on dry. It's for menopausal women who want to cheat on their husbands and young guys who are into it.
Chris.
Yeah.
We need to start that app.
Right? It's called Dry.
How has that not been an SNL sketch? That is fucking
amazing.
hilarious.
Here's the thing. In the first half of the show, we talked about coaster catastrophes.
We did.
And now we're going to talk about pickleball problems
See what they
with
did
our
there?
guest, Rylie Newton. Hi,
Rylie
Rylie.
Newton is
Hello.
here. Finally. You know, Rylie, I know I've seen you or met you or maybe we were doing stand-up around the same time. Did you do a lot of places that were like small open mics
Sounds right.
in weird places around parts
Absolutely.
of town that like where other stand-ups kind of just looked at their notes and were bored?
Absolutely.
Then maybe
That
we
was
were,
the same place.
That was
I think
almost all of it.
I think that's where I know you from.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That must be
grinding it out in the valley somewhere.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe that's what it is then, or maybe we just worked on a show together that we've both forgotten about. Anyway, it's nice.
Intentionally.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Probably,
that was
hopefully.
a lot of the shows I think that I was like, it's gonna get better than this, and then,
It didn't.
well, sometimes
Sometimes it did.
Yeah, I mean, also I think that's kind of I'm kind of exaggerating because I actually usually felt pretty lucky to be getting paid.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm being an asshole right now, Rylie.
No,
This is about you.
no, yes.
So Rylie and I do know each other originally from stand-up.
Yeah.
We did all the same open mics and everything. But we happen to be currently, at this moment, writing on the same game show because Rylie is also a game show writer.
Indeed. so interesting. Let me.
Have you done your work yet today? Have you started? Because we have a
this show,
quota.
This is a different show. Like, there's no Zoom meetings. There's hardly. It's very independent.
That's
Yeah.
perfect, isn't it?
I kind of love it because I
Yeah.
leave and play pickleball all the time. I'm not trying to segue, but
No,
That
no,
is
no.
a good one.
Well, the other thing that we have in common, Rylie, only marginally, is pickleball. So I am a lazy pickleball player. I play once a week at most, and even then I don't make it usually because my son has things to do. But you have found a second life as a pickleball player. Is that right?
I am obsessed with pickleball.
She's obsessed.
I love this.
It's insane.
Okay.
Tell us.
How did
Tell
you
us
get
more.
into it, or just tell us whatever you want to tell us?
So I went. Do you know Matt Kirshen?
Boy,
Yes.
that sounds
Little,
familiar.
A little.
I know-
shouldn't say that. Cut sheet. A British comedian.
Yeah.
Super nice guy.
Yes.
Nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
So I went to his wedding in Colorado,
Okay.
and we played ping pong.
Okay.
We went to a bar like the night before, and there was a ping pong table in the basement. This is dumb, but I'm going to add it. I have this friend, Andy. Andy Wood. I don't know if you know him.
Oh,
he
you
used to
mean-
do Bridgetown.
Oh, I was thinking of Jackie's husband. His name's not Andy.
Okay. So he's like my brother in the sense that he's better at everything than me. Okay. And we fight. And like I've yelled at him, I fucking hate talking to you. Like, and we're still friends.
Yes.
Like he's that guy.
That's
He's
great.
in my life that way. Like he's probably my emergency contact. Like, like we just have a weird rival, whatever it is. And so we played ping pong, and I fucking beat him.
Okay.
Nice.
I mean, this guy was a college swimmer. Like it was so satisfying. So satisfying.
Yes, I can imagine.
And he, he's going around telling everyone, Riley's really good at ping pong. And I'm like, yeah, I finally found something.
Did you know you were good at ping pong? Had you played
No,
before?
no. I didn't. You think I brought my own paddle, fucking rosined it up before I...
It's got your initials on it.
No, I had played with my brother.
Okay.
And my brother is good at everything.
Oh, okay.
And there was a time, this is another aside, but one time I beat my brother in ping pong. And I felt like whatever was in the rage was released. It was one of the greatest days of my life. It just felt like birds flying out of my chest, like just a flush of birds just gone. It was like
It's a John Woo
music.
movie.
It was like crazy. I was like, I'm fixed. Like it was the greatest day of my life. And then a week later, I went back. It was in my grandparents' garage. They had a ping pong table. Went back a week later, and I was like, I'm going to beat him again. That's too much to ask for.
Yeah.
Stop when you should.
Stop in your head. Yeah.
Pump you got it. The birds are free.
Right.
Let
Don't
it go.
put the birds back in the cage.
No.
So we start playing. I go, yeah, I beat you. I start talking shit. He goes, I played left-handed last week.
Oh, come on.
Like those birds can't come back in now.
No.
Like they can't. There's nowhere for them to go.
You didn't realize? You didn't
I did
notice?
not know. I was so excited. I was beat him. I was like
This was you guys were adults at this point, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't last week, but
Right.
it was
was yesterday.
So when I beat Andy at
Yes.
ping pong, I was like, let's do this. Like I was like adrenaline. And then we played ping pong again. After the wedding, we went back to this place because Andy was going around telling everybody how good I was.
The wedding was just a distraction from
It was
the ping pong.
honestly.
game.
I mean, let's be honest. Matt's dad was there. I whooped his ass. Like, like I was like, well,
So it wasn't a fluke.
No, I was pretty good.
Okay.
There was a guy who was beating me, and it was a head game. He got in my head. So Matt was like, you should try pickleball. They're very similar.
Yes.
Which I was like, no, they're not. This is a little tiny table.
Right.
Ping pong is actually a little tiny court
Right.
compared to tennis,
Right.
which I also used to play, and my brother used to beat me.
Oh, okay.
Your brother, man.
That fucking guy.
You like all paddle games.
I like the paddle. Sure. Racket
Squash?
paddle. Yeah. No, I never tried. Oh, no. I can't have any more.
No, you can't.
It's bad. So I played pickleball with Matt first.
Okay.
And then because I had a tennis background, I was what they call a banger.
What does that mean?
Oh, you got to know this.
I don't.
I know you know what a banger
I
is.
don't.
I'm saying you've definitely encountered that.
Okay.
It's basically a jerk
Yes.
who hits the ball really hard.
Yes.
And if you play with the banger and you're not banging back, the banger will teach you by trying to hit you or by trying to just smoke like every ball past you so that you don't want to play with them again.
Okay.
I'm not the bad kind of banger, but I like hitting the ball hard because it's very satisfying.
So
You got to get that rage out.
That's what it is.
There's still those rage birds inside of
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
It really is a lot of rage.
So Oliver and I joke because I literally cannot hit it hard. It's up high and you want to slam it. I go with all my might and it just bing. It just every single time. So he's like, slam it, Mom. And I'm like, bing. And I'm like, I slammed it.
You know what, though? All you got to do is place a bing. Just go.
Yeah. Sometimes it works fine.
Yeah.
But I just literally don't have the physics of my body to slam.
So I'm learning how to have a soft game.
Okay.
Okay. So you've got more of the birds out
Well,
of your chest.
those birds are tightly secured in here. I'm very angry. They would
But
like
you can
to be free.
control them better on
No,
the court.
There's no. I want to give this to you, but I
Okay. You don't have to.
no, it's a strange psychological battle that I am in that is so like I am constantly. I just played a tournament last weekend and I lost every single game.
Oh, no.
0 to 7. I lost 7 games.
Okay.
Not the score.
With the same partner?
That's part of the problem is I have changed partners. Like probably I've played, I think 5 or 6 tournaments. I've played with a different partner every time.
And do you go
and
in
that's bad.
with
It's not
like
helpful.
a friend and you're like, we're going to play together? Or is it paired up at the...
You definitely come in with a partner.
Got it. Okay.
I think the first one I did, somebody paired me with someone. And that was actually, I played 2 with her. And she moved away. But
She couldn't take you anymore. Your aggression.
I'm telling you, I'm a
She
head
moved
case.
away, quote
Yeah.
unquote. What do you mean your head case on the court?
It's when I used to play tennis, I was like this too. Like I was the greatest tennis player ever. That sounds horrible. When I was practicing, like just forehand, backhand, just hitting everything. When I would play a tournament, I would just
Oh, of course.
become a mess.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
this
the
weekend,
pressure?
I was talking to myself in the middle of the court. Like no one was around. I was like, wait, no one's even here? And I was just talking to myself because I was so wound up and so mad at myself.
Oh, no.
And so now I'm at the point now where it's like, I have to beat this thing.
Yeah.
Like I have to, it feels like it's just, there's no closure until I can play a tournament without being tight. Like I can't even, it's so dumb.
No, it's not dumb. It totally makes sense
It
to me.
feels like, it feels like the birds.
Yes.
I have to free them again.
Yes.
No,
For real this time. though.
Yeah, for real. Is this... Okay, so is this a... All right, let's talk about it. Competitiveness, or is it I'm not going to do well? Is this I must win, or is this I must not look bad? Do you know what it is?
It's all of those. You just nailed all of them.
Okay.
Part of it is like before I did this tournament, so you asked me where I play. I play a lot in Glendale.
Okay.
And I do see the same people all the time.
Uh-huh.
And there is definitely like you play matches in rec play, and you win or you lose, and you kind of have like a rank. Like there's no actual ranking, but there's a little bit of like you're good. Oh, I don't want to play with her. She bad, or she thinks, or oh, she hits the ball. She is not patient, or whatever it is. Everybody has thoughts about other people who play, and so there was a little bit of like I'm going to come back from this weekend at this tournament, and I'm going to be able to say, oh, we won gold. We were the best ones. And so that was definitely a part of it. Like a little bit of like, what will people think if I think I'm so good and then I suck at these tournaments?
Right.
Like, suck. And so that's one thing.
Okay.
There's also just a little bit of like, am I a fool? Like, do I think I'm good at something? And I'm like, do I need to go look at this on a camera? Am I horrible? Like there's this weird...
You mean like we all think about everything every day of our lives? That's how I feel.
But it reminds me of stand-up in that way that like there's this potential for this thing to be great.
Yes.
And then there's also this like disaster.
Absolutely.
I was just explaining this to my therapist, how I vacillate by the hour on I should be more successful because I'm talented, or clearly you would have been more successful if you were talented, dumb shit.
Yes.
Constantly.
Absolutely.
The conversation can change
Yeah.
in a minute.
Yeah.
But here's something interesting. You stopped doing stand-up.
Yes, I'm nodding.
Let me just ask if
Fix
that...
me.
Because of maybe the pressures of that feeling.
That's why I quit playing tennis too.
And so what's the motivation of doing the tournaments? Like
Oh my
you...
God, what if you make
you-
me cry?
you-
I
Oh,
swear to God. I swear to God. I'll go right now. I'll do it.
You love pickleball.
You know what?
You don't have-
I might cry about it because I really do. Because I'll tell you, before, I'm very close to crying.
Oh, no.
You're allowed to cry.
No, I love crying. I played a tournament. I cried 3 times. But I also played with this lady named Davina Joy, which
my
should
God.
be all I have to tell you.
Yes.
I
that
feel
is
like that is
actually-
actually all I have to tell
Okay,
you.
I
It's very
got it.
woo-woo. There was like a henna tattoo that I was
No.
forever trying to decide if it was real.
Wait, on her face?
On her, it was either her forehead or her neck. I can't remember, but it was very like,
It was probably connected. It's the obvious.
straight down.
That's distracting.
No, it was like, but it wasn't like black. It was like, it was very like, I almost thought for a second it was body art.
Yeah.
Like that stuff that goes under the skin somehow.
What? I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't
don't-
want to
you don't-
know.
it's-
It sounds awful.
Yeah. I mean, she told me on the way to the bathroom, she said she drinks her pee, which is fine. You know what? She talks
Hey.
about it. I'm not talking out of school, like, but I was like, oh, okay, that is distracting.
I don't
This
think
is
she should do
information.
that.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
But I forgot why I started saying that.
Well,
except
you were talking about, because Chris was
why- what's-
making the point, maybe you just don't do the tournaments.
I know, but I have to, I can't let it go. I win one.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't. I know. I wish I could.
I'm not forcing you. I'm just asking you to question it.
Yeah. So I do love pickleball. And part of it is, that was kind of somewhere in there what you said.
Yes.
Part of it is I found something that I feel like I'm good at that I haven't felt good at since stand-up probably.
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Those same feelings.
It's a similar feeling. You know, like stand-up will give you that juice. It'll give it to you, and it'll take it right the fuck away.
Yeah.
It'll take it away
Yeah.
till you're just like, what am I
shriveled mess.
doing? Like,
Yeah.
how embarrassing. But it gives you that juice. It's like instant, but it's also like, I feel like an athlete. Like, I don't know how else to say that. Like,
yes.
I've been overweight most of my life, and it got pretty bad during the pandemic. It went up even more. I was very isolated. Like, I still feel like, am I saying crazy shit? I don't mean right now, but like this weekend even, I was like talking to myself because I was like so isolated for so long. I was so like, and so to come out of it, like that wedding was 2 years, 20, I don't think it was still end of pandemic. And so like this whole kind of journey has been like coming out of not retirement, but like going back outside.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Like,
yeah.
Someone else's wedding changed your life.
Yeah.
That's
on
really
some level,
cool.
yeah.
For the better, maybe even than theirs.
Maybe, who knows? No, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. But I will say, for the better. And then that's what sucks. Like, I don't
Yes.
want this to be bad. I don't want the tournaments to. I could not move on Saturday afterwards. I didn't move the entire day because I was so depressed.
Oh.
And it's part. I mean, people go, oh, just have fun. And the person who said that to me had gone 7-0. They didn't lose one game.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, you're
Easy
having
for
a
you.
great fucking time because
Yeah.
you haven't lost any. You don't think like, oh my God, I'm an idiot. I thought I was good and I suck.
Right.
Like, so there's a piece of me that like feels like I have to. Even the word conquer
Yes.
is the wrong word because there's aggression and hatred and defeat.
Yes.
Instead of love and like the good thing.
You have to get yourself in a different mindset when you do these tournaments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously.
Yeah.
You have to think of it as just another weekday when you go to play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not connected at all with my ability when I'm doing it.
Are the people much better in the tournament? Or you're just psyching yourself out?
I'm completely psyching
Yeah,
myself out.
yeah.
I will say also the partnership that I had there, we hadn't really played together a lot, and there is really like, I guess in stand-up it'd be the Sklar brothers, like the equivalent of like you just kind of get each other.
Yes.
You can figure out like I'm taking this ball, you're taking that ball,
Yes.
you're in the middle. Like
There's chemistry.
that is part of
We
it.
had zero.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, it was like, and the worst part was, I am bitching now, but her boyfriend would not stop coaching us.
While you're playing?
No.
I'm telling you, okay, if
Oh,
we
that
were
would
on
drive
if
me
we were on
insane.
this court, across two courts, seated over here, is this man yelling,
Nope.
Cece, weakest link, to tell her to hit the ball to the lesser player, which is like, by the way, does this bitch need to hear that? Like,
Yo,
none
what?
of this
That's
is
so
good.
rude.
I was just like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm so, stop.
Oh,
dude.
Rylie,
Not
that's
even
terrible.
embarrassment. Then we're still playing on this court. He leaves. We have another match. He comes around. Now I believe he's smoking a cigar. I smell the cigar. And he's at the fence
At pickleball in the
coaching
day?
again.
No.
I hate him.
He's the
I have love for
worst.
the man, but he was driving me crazy. Then I went and I sat down where everybody was sitting after the matches. He was over there and he was like, you guys, you didn't prepare mentally. And I'm like, oh my God.
Well, can you say to him?
I told him multiple
Okay.
times.
Wow.
You are giving me anxiety. I cannot listen to these. And I moved away, and he, you know, and there's also a little bit of like a weird dynamic with that relationship where I played with her Friday, and I said, "Can you tell David not to come?" Like, I'm not a super proactive person, but I was like, this guy is fucking our shit up.
And is she
feel like I'm not
bothered?
supposed to swear.
Is she bothered by it?
She has said it to me. That's why I was like,
Yeah. And she can't tell him just, hey, don't come?
I don't know. Either way, somebody goes, you gotta, you know, help her. Oh, it was my aunt. My Aunt Judy was like, you gotta help her with that relationship. You gotta help her get out. I go, no, I do not.
That is not the
It is
challenge
not
for you.
my
No,
job.
that's not your job.
Number one, we're never playing again, and that's where it ends. This is
Yeah.
not my job.
You don't have to take that on. You
Yeah.
just can't come to pickleball.
What kind of ball is this just like a
a wiffle
tennis
ball.
Like
ball?
wiffle ball. That's why I'm saying it's a weird sport.
It's really weird. I've looked up
strange.
the origins, and it's some say that it was named after their dog of the two people who created it, but then that can't even be verified, which makes no sense. It wasn't in the 1800s. It just happened.
Right. No,
Yes.
it's like,
But like,
80s, 70s, somewhere in
well,
there.
you know what? Jimmy, who completely had forgotten that he was on his high school's pickleball team.
No way.
What?
Yeah.
I never even had
Is
heard
that
of
a thing?
pickleball until
I
like
know.
literally the pandemic, I think.
It's in his yearbook.
That's
Was that like
crazy.
a recreational sport? That was like a letter?
No,
what do you
I don't
call
think it
those?
was like
What do
Like
call
you
those?
could get lettered in
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was just. He said he
That
was
would be
on the
awesome
team.
if he
I don't
had
know.
a high school jacket in your closet and he
just a-
lettered in pickleball.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
It's pretty trend-setting.
That'd
it's just
be
a
very cool.
net. Yeah. So apparently it's been around. It just because of the pandemic,
I think
usually
it
played
definitely, like-
outside. It had this like explosion.
Yeah, I think the pandemic definitely brought a lot of people out.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're able to take it easy on yourself.
Yeah.
And just
Give
try
yourself
to
some
have-
love.
Remember, it's a game. So how often do you play now? How
Well,
many days a week?
I don't know. I swear, after last weekend, I might be done. I'm
No.
not. But I was playing twice a day, almost every day.
Wow, that is so cool.
Like you play in the morning,
I
go
play
home, and then
hurt.
come back?
Yeah.
I love that. I love this
I've
passion.
hurt almost every part of my body. I've hurt I've dislocated my shoulder.
Oh.
I mean,
My ankle is swollen right now. Both my knees are arthritic. Like, I'm a mess.
but I love that you have such a passion for it.
I do too.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is kind of fun to have something that you're so.
Yes.
Like, I know I keep going back to stand up, but I do remember like the beginning of it when it was so scary. And the first
Yes.
time I played pickleball, I was like, kick rocks. Like, what am I doing here?
I have one more question about stand up. Did you ever find a way when you're doing stand up that like let you feel and like you were enjoying it and sort of pushed the other voices at bay? Or do you think you were like, I couldn't really, so I just stopped doing it?
Oh, it's definitely a hybrid of that. We did Premium Blend together.
Yeah.
And when we did,
That was
my
a TV
experience of
show.
that was that audience was so up
Yes.
that you could not fail.
Yes.
Like, it was a weird, like, in the green room watching other sets, I was like, I think Bonnie McFarlane actually called it out. She goes, you guys, like, you're laughing before I'm even saying my punchline.
Yes.
Like, she, like, stopped her set and kind of said
Did
something.
she really?
I think she did, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because I remember going, whoa, Bonnie,
'Cause they're
like,
just-
you're turning on
they're
the
just
greatest audience of all time.
Pumped
Yes.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're the warm-up guys getting them just
Yeah.
all the way up.
Yes.
I bring this up to say there was a point where I was so nervous. I was like, I'm going to faint. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to trip on my way out there.
Yeah.
My head is going 1,000,000 miles an hour. And then the other track is going, don't forget your set. Don't forget your set.
Yeah.
Sure.
So now you got these two things going. And then you're like, just calm down. Mm-hmm. And then there was a point, like after probably 2 jokes, where it was like, land, that I relaxed.
Yes.
And my favorite spot, and I wish I could get there with pickleball, was neutral.
Yes.
I left that set and I was not like, I'm the greatest stand-up
Yeah.
of all time.
Right.
Or I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I was like, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I love that feeling.
Yeah.
I
Yes, yes.
seek that feeling.
Yeah.
Because it's not the high or the low. The high is great, but the high always has a crash.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, it felt like it just, like you get this expectation. And it's same with pickleball where it's like, I've turned a corner. Mm-hmm. I'm the greatest now, or I'm
Yes.
good, or I'm
Yes.
at least respectable. And then
Yes.
it's like, I'm a piece of shit again? That sucks.
Yeah. That feels like just a very common feeling of what
of course.
doing stand up is, which
Yeah.
is I suck and I hate myself, or I'm amazing and I'm so funny.
right.
Like
I
they
could
both
never go up without my notes. I never learned how to do it. And I should have taught myself because what would be so scary?
Oh,
what
it
would
was
be the
such-
worst
I,
thing?
Yes.
I used it as a crutch too.
Same. And I think that is what you're hitting on is such a good point, which is I think for me helped me do scary things in life, which is all the worst things have kind of already happened.
Right.
Am I going to die? No.
Right.
Right.
I mean, yes, eventually, so fuck it, who cares? Like that's kind of how I try to rack up failing experiences.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, I've failed so much and like been told I'm not funny. On a stage, I've been told, like, I've had people yell at me I'm not funny. Like, I've failed so much, like, at jobs I've been fired from, jobs I didn't get. Like, it's like, what else? Who cares? Like,
I love this.
That's very freeing for me because it's like, well, who cares if I go lose 10 more pickleball matches because I've already failed this many ways and I kept going. Like, I kept going through my life and it was okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's maybe the good side of what stand-up has taught me and what being in the creative fields has taught me is that it's like, yeah, you know, I just kept writing jokes even when you didn't pay me for them. Like, or I kept doing things that make me feel good even when people said, you suck, you're not funny.
Yeah.
I think there is something to that.
I think it's, for me, easier to feel that way now that I'm older. I definitely did not have that perspective when I was doing it. If I did it, there are things now where I approach and I go, none of this really matters. Even pickleball, I'll be like, because I'll get mad because I'm not as good as I'd like to be. Again, don't really try that hard at it, but sometimes I literally say to myself, you really need one more thing to suck at? Why are you doing this? But then, like, last time we played, which was a few weeks ago, I had fun. And I was like, oh, I think I got a little bit better. Like, not a lot, but I think I got a little bit better. But on the other hand, on the flip side of what you're saying, it's also nice to have things still matter.
Yes.
Because it's also hard at this age to care. So if Rylie has the tournament, it's like, well, at least I'm still invested in something.
Yeah, it's good to care about things and it's good to want to be good at things.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think that people who perform or write comedy, there is an element of like, I want this to be fucking amazing. And you're not phoning it in and you do care. And that's why it does feel so important. But you also don't want it to rip you up inside.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think there's a parallel too with what you were saying where you felt like you got better. Where for me, the part of the appeal of stand-up and pickleball, like I always thought in stand-up, like, you think you're done? You think you figured it all out and you got this now and you're not going to write any new... You're not going to change your voice ever. You're not going to ever have a different perspective.
Yes.
You're never going to do anything like you're never going to do anything outside of the exact thing that you're doing right now. Where pickleball has that similar, like, appeal where it's like, oh, I can hit like this shot now. I couldn't do that before. Like that's cool.
Yeah.
Or I can, like I remember seeing people do stand up, like Dan Mintz or whoever, like somebody who was out there doing weird shit, and I was like, wait, what are you doing? You can't do that. That's against the rules.
Oh,
Yes,
that's funny.
yes.
A little bit of that where it's like, I see people sometimes they hit a ball weird. I'm like, that point doesn't count. It's like, yeah, it does. Who cares? You can do whatever you want.
That's great. I love that. Well, I need to send you home to finish your work.
Great. Back to the parking lot.
But you're on line items today, so are you like, to me, I find that easier than coming up with new questions.
I find it like it's obviously a different part of your brain, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes, no, because I keep making these choices that are making my life hard.
Well, I don't think you're alone in that.
Well, yeah, right, really. Okay, well, Rylie, thank you. That was actually very fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for the therapy.
Very relatable.
I think a lot of people can relate to everything we talked about, whether it's pickleball or stand-up or their own things in life. It's like a journey where a lot of us are dealing with acceptance and just learning how to be people.
I'm sorry. I apologize that Kristine almost made you cry.
Look, I do it to all the guests.
She's the Barbara Walters.
I'm actually usually the one crying.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. This was such
fun.
great fun. And we will be right back with What Did We Learn Today?
What did we learn?
What did we learn? Are we ready to learn what we learned today?
Yes, please.
We are so smart. Mm-hmm. A Rube Goldberg machine is a contraption designed to perform a simple task in a deliberately overcomplicated and amusing way, often through a series of interconnected chain reaction events. These machines are named after the American, cartoonist Rube Goldberg, who popularized the concept in his cartoons.
I don't think I knew that.
I did know that. So I wonder, maybe he never made them. Maybe he just drew them.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They're easier probably to draw because you don't have to construct them, and then they can be super crazy in a cartoon.
Yes. Big Carnival is the guy driving the Dodge Neon at the front of the Carnival caravan. Fun fact, the Jackrabbit at Seabreeze Amusement Park in Rochester, New York is the oldest continuously operating roller coaster in North America. It opened on May 31st, 1920, and has been operating ever since. 105 years. That's amazing.
That's a lot of years.
I hope they tune it up.
And there weren't a lot of accidents on it. I think there was, at one point it said in the first 45 years or something, there was only 2.
It's just like a foot off the ground.
Yeah, right.
What else?
I don't know that I have anything else.
I mean, we covered it.
Yeah.
I think we saved people's lives at theme parks.
Yep.
We gave them some tips to feel better about pickleball, maybe.
Stay out of the kitchen.
Stay out of the kitchen and, just give yourself a break.
Yeah.
Everybody give yourself a break.
That's right. And until next time,
Remain calm.